What's up, everybody? Today I'm here to give you my overall thoughts, my review on Suicide Squad 2 or James Gunn's Suicide Squad. I mean, technically, this is not a sequel, but I had the chance to watch. This is available on HBO Max or in the theaters. I was very excited to see what was going to be his take on this Suicide Squad, taking that the first one was very controversial. A lot of people didn't like it, and David Ayer even wants to release his own cut because, according to him, that was not the movie that he intended. But I gotta say, I'm that kind of a person that, if you've been around my channel, you probably know I love DC characters. Love them. They're my favorite. I'm a diehard Superman fan. I love Batman, Wonder Woman, Harley Quinn, the Joker. I just think that the DC characters are the best, even though I also love Marvel. I have nothing against it. I'm not that kind of fan that need to hate one to love the other. But if I were to choose, I'd definitely choose the DC characters just because I love them. And I was very excited to see how was James Gunn going to do. What was he going to do and bring different to this film, taking the fact that I think he was so successful in Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, one of the things I love about those films is the comedy that he knows how to blend in so well that I don't think they overdo it. And not only that, he's great with the action and great with dealing with a large cast. And I think that this shows here on Suicide Squad 2. By the way, guys, non-spoilers, just gonna give you my overall thoughts. When I get to the spoilers, because I will discuss them towards the end, I will let you know, so don't worry. But going back to the large casting, this is an ability that not all directors have. You need to really know how to divide the time and make sure that we still can connect to these characters. And it's not an easy task. And I think that James Gunn did that very well in this film. I think we got to spend time with all individual characters for a little bit, to the point that we got to know them, and I thought that was brilliant. The comedy in this film was really good, even though it was a lot of dark comedy, which is not my favorite. I'm not really a fan of dark stuff, but I think for this film particularly, it worked wonders. It was just so funny. So yeah, the cast was really great. These characters was just, I thought that they were just gonna come off as really silly, even though they were silly. It just works. I don't know what the magic is, but it worked. So I have my notes here, so I'm not all over the place. So the first thing I said here is that I love the characters. And I think Harley Quinn was great. Again, she was amazing. There's one particular scene, it's sort of like a fight scene where she does exactly what you expect Harley Quinn to do. And I thought that was brilliant. So I love the characters. I love the shark character. I think he was very similar to the Groot type of character. No, but Groot is not really dumb the way that the shark, I think it's more like a dumb character. He's just like a muscle. And it's hilarious that it is Sylvester Stallone that does the voice. I love that character. It was really awesome. Now, another character that I really, really love is Bloodsport. And at first I was thinking, is it Bloodshot or Bloodsport? I think it's Bloodsport. And I think he was so good, even though his abilities are very similar to Will Smith from the latest film, and his abilities are pretty similar, but this character was way more, it was better developed. Let's put it this way. I really connected to him. He's sort of like the lead, within the group. And I think he was great. I was with him the whole time, and he's sort of the anti-hero type of character, anyways, I can't really get into spoilers. I'm just saying, I think this character was pretty great leader, very engaging. And there's something that he did that I'm going to discuss on the spoiler section that, anyways, let's leave that for later. The rat lady, like if you saw the trailer, there's someone that can control the rats. And I thought she was sort of like the heart of the film, and pretty interesting power. And also give you another perspective on rats, because, a lot of people do not like rats, especially if you're in New York City. Get the subway, you'll find rats everywhere. But anyways, another thing that this film was incredible, it had beautiful cinematography. That's what I went to school for. and I just like, wow, there's so many shots. The very first shot actually was already very appealing. The camera starts on the water and you see a reflection of someone, right? And I was like, how did they I didn't even realize it was water. I was like, how did they shoot that? And then the camera kind of like pans up or kind of gives like a tilted turn, and it just turns to the person. I was like, wow, that was brilliant. And it was the very first shot. And I thought the cinematography in this film was really beautiful. Nice camera movement. There was a lot of CGI, but I don't think the CGI was like distracting. You know, I really hate when the CGI, it's so much or so bad that is distracting from the plot or from the narrative and all of that. I enjoyed the camera work. I enjoyed the CGI. I thought all of that was very nicely done. So great job, James Gunn. I also thought that this film was very entertaining from beginning to end. There was no part where I was like, I'm bored or I'm on my phone. So that's also another good sign. So it's definitely a step up in comparison to the other one. I really, really enjoyed the characters, even though, guys, I'm going to get to the negatives as well, because there's some, I mean, not really to me, but I feel like the overall audience, I don't think this would be a film that would please everyone. Like, it's not like the Marvel universe where you can bring kids, because this is very adult. Trust me. And in my opinion, this really felt like DC, the DC animation. I really love DC animation. It's one of my favorite things. I think DC, no one can beat them on animation. And I also love, you know, it just really, this movie felt original to the DC universe as far as like the animation and the comics. I might be wrong, but I got that feeling that this really felt original. There was not one time that I was like, I don't believe this character would do this. There's also a polka dot guy that his power is really hilarious. And like they all have these silly powers and they work. I mean, in my mind, I was like, how does he make them work? It's just, it was great. So yeah. Not all directors are able to do such a good job with a large cast with all these different powers. And then, of course, we have John Cena. He's the Peacemaker, and he's freaking hilarious. I think I laughed so much with this character. He was a lot of fun, you know, like he was very like this buff dude that is just, oh my God. I'll get to another thing on the spoilers that I want to talk about, but I can't say it right now. Since this is the non-spoiler part. Okay, now let's talk about the negatives. So the things that I thought that it wasn't that great, I mean, not for me, but for the overall audience, I think this film is very, very gory. There's a lot of blood, a lot of gore, which I don't mind because I love like monster films and zombies and all of that. That's my stuff. So that didn't bother me, but I could see how it would bother a lot of other people. So that could be seen as a negative. I also think that dark humor. I thought that there's a lot of things that, let's put it this way. I think James Gunn really has a thing against birds. When you watch the film, you can write down, what do you think I mean here? Because I was like, damn, I don't think he likes birds because, oh my gosh. So yeah, there's a lot of like dark humor, and I think that's something that I'm not particularly a fan of dark humor, but for this film it really worked because these characters, they're all messed up. They're not Superman, they're not, you know, Wonder Woman. Like they are not these perfect, they're so broken and they have so many flaws. So I think the dark humor kind of worked. I don't even know why I said that would be a negative, because it's actually not, but it's usually a negative for me because I'm not a fan of dark humor, but I don't know how people are going to react to that. What other? I think that's pretty much it, because I found this film was pretty enjoyable from beginning to end. I don't really have a lot of complaints. I was very engaged. I thought the villain was really interesting. And I can't discuss the villain here because it's gonna get on the spoiler section, but I really enjoyed the villain because the villain reminded me straight from a Superman animation that I seen. We'll discuss that in the spoiler section. And I thought that was good as well. And I guess that's it for non-spoiler review. I definitely recommend this film for those who love DC. I mean, if you have a problem with gore and all of that, this might not be very appealing to you. This, I think, I need to check if this was rated R, because I was like, this has to be rated R because there's a lot of blood, so little kids are not gonna like this. Is not Marvel, it's not Guardians of the Galaxy, to that level. But there's a lot of adult jokes, there's a naked guy, fully naked guy. So yes, that's in the film as well. Yeah, so it's definitely not for little kids. I would say 13 up, maybe. Or but this is not PG-13, cannot be PG-13. I'm pretty sure this is rated R. But anyways, let me know if you are going to watch this film. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I definitely recommend. I thought it was a lot of fun, different take, and a step up from the last one. So now let's talk spoiler. There's so much I want to talk about. Okay, spoiler alert. The first thing I wanted to say here is, does anyone else wants to see how Bloodsport shot Superman? I mean, I have a theory and I want to discuss. So this is what I think could happen. Superman is that kind of character that ever since I was a child, and I've been watching Superman, the cartoons and all of that. And me and my brothers always discuss this, is the fact that Superman, he's so powerful and he's bulletproof that he doesn't really analyze a scene prior to going in, and that's the stupid side of Superman, because he's bulletproof. So it would totally make sense that he would see Bloodsport shooting at him, and of course Superman is fast enough to just run away. He does, of course, if he wanted, he wouldn't get shot. He would just go like Neo, even faster than Neo, from the Matrix. But Superman usually just stays there and takes the bullets because he's bulletproof. So I would totally think that he didn't see or didn't realize that it was a kryptonite bullet, because in the movie they do say it's a kryptonite bullet, and he put him in the ICU, and I would love to see that. Because Superman is just so powerful, and but he forgets that he's vulnerable to kryptonite, and it totally makes sense, in my opinion, that he would just see the bullet coming and just stand there and just take it, and then almost die. So I think that was brilliant. I really like that, and I'm very sensitive when it comes to Superman because I love this character. So be careful. You're not gonna tell me that it's how can I say, when people say, oh, this character beats Superman, I wouldn't believe it. But when it comes to shooting Superman with a kryptonite bullet, I could totally see that, because I know he does that. He just walks into a room and takes all the bullets, and he just doesn't care. And that's partially what we saw in Batman v Superman. When Batman was attacking him, Batman was just like throwing all this kryptonite bomb, and he just went through it. He didn't even realize until he was like, oh. Anyway, so that's one thing. Now, there is a scene with John Cena in tidy whities, guys. Oh my God, that scene was so funny because it's just so unexpected. And at the same time that is not unexpected, it really fits the character, because he seems to be this character that really loves himself. And then he walks in, he's all tan, wearing tidy whities. And I was like, I had to stop the movie because I was laughing so hard at that scene. I don't know why I thought it was so funny, especially with Bloodsport's reaction to that. Dude, like, why are you tidy whities? Like, what's the deal with you? It was just... like in the middle of the jungle. It was just, I love that scene. It was just so funny. I thought he was really great. I love that a lot. Okay, what else? Oh, another thing I really enjoyed was the fact that Bloodsport had this fear of rats, and it was a theme throughout the whole film that paid off at the end. And I think that's one of the things that I love seeing this kind of stuff in filmmaking, when you see like a character has a fear of something, and then it's a common theme, like throughout the entire film. First we discover he has this fear, and then he continues on, and then towards the end he's actually petting the little mouse. So I was like that, and then he was just like, the way that it was done, it was just, I love that scene so much. And it kind of made me like, oh, of course, I'm not a big fan of rats. But that little rat he was wearing like some sort of vest, was really cute. By the way, that girl that controls the rats, I think she's definitely the heart of the film, and you can tell mostly because she has this relationship with Bloodsport, in which he sees her as his daughter, And I thought it was really cool how they end that monster towards the end. At the same time, I was like, would that be even possible? But then you think about it, rats could definitely do some damage. Now let's talk about the villain, that not the villain, but like that alien monster that they have to destroy towards the end. Guys, I forgot to mention Amanda Wallace. I'll get to that. Let me talk about the villain first. I'm all over the place, and I wrote it down. I can't believe I forgot it. But let's talk about this monster. There is an animation in which Superman, he's attacked by this alien thing, and but the difference is that it's not really sucking the energy of him, but it's putting him on this alternate reality in which Superman is just dreaming of a certain life that he really wanted to have. And I really enjoyed that episode. I remember watching that in animation, and when I saw what this particular alien is doing, I just thought it was the same. I don't think it's the same, but it was pretty similar what he did to people, you know. But on this movie, actually, he was if he stayed too long on people's face, did he kill everyone? I didn't really I don't think he killed. That is one thing I haven't realized, if all the people that had that star on their faces, they were dead. But I thought that villain really brought me the nostalgia. I was like, oh my God, I remember that cartoon, and I thought it was the same, even though I don't think it is, or maybe it is. Tell me if you guys think it is the same from this animation I'm talking about. So I really thought that that monster was really interesting, you know, something so weird, but it, like I said, there's a lot of weird stuff in this movie, but it all worked so perfectly. So I liked, guys, also no woke crap on this film. Another thing, it's just like, you have to applaud it, because nowadays movies are mostly not concerned about the story itself. It's more concerned about pandering and pleasing people that don't even care about these films. I didn't really see anything like that. Okay, let's talk about Amanda Wallace. You know, that actress, my goodness, she was incredible. You know, she's just like how I remembered her from the animation. This ruthless, badass woman that is just like willing to do and sacrifice whatever she's crazy, man. I love the scene at the end when they just like hit her in the face, in her head, because, you know, the guys, Bloodsport and Harley Quinn, they just want to go save that particular town where they are. And it's so annoying when she just goes, oh, leave it, you know, we'll just, whatever. I was just like, man, this woman is just, yeah, someone do that. So I was rooting for that woman that hit her in the head. Amanda Wallace, great performance, great acting. I really enjoyed that. Harley Quinn, she was fantastic. Now that scene where she escapes, you know, where she pretends that she, of course, they're electrocuting her, and she just pretend that she passed out, and then she just like grabs that guy's neck, and it just literally, that scene was incredible. And I could totally see Harley Quinn doing that. Love that scene. And I loved her new boyfriend storyline. Like, it was very short, but I was shocked what she did there. But at the same time, okay, I could totally believe that Harley Quinn would do stuff like that. Cold-blooded and crazy. She is perfect for the Joker, trust me. And I guess that's it as far as my notes. But guys, I just thought that I had a great time with this film. Really did. Even though it had dark humor and was very gory, I thought it really felt very DC animation. The characters were very true to what I'm used to watching, you know, in DC universe. And I'm very happy. I definitely recommend go watch Suicide Squad, because I think this one is definitely better than the other one. But I would love to hear your thoughts. Did you see this film? Did you like it, or you didn't like it? You have complaints? Drop your comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe for more. And I'll see you